you run at all in Pat's run?
I mean, I was there, and then the kids run and all that stuff, but not like I didn't like start and then sprint. No, definitely not.
Coach, what you make of Jarrett Hamilton today and the ability to get these guys kind of more ingrained in the offense, that kind of stuff?
Awesome to see him catch the football, get open, make explosive plays. His speed is an X factor for us, and I was just happy to see him kind of like he puts in so much work behind the scenes that nobody will see. But so I was just fired up for him to, kind of show what he can do. I think that's a kid who fits this place. We needed him, and I think he needed us, and I think it really is a perfect fit.
You've been begging for a player to kind of step up, one out of the younger guys. I think that Reigns. Anybody you see today that kind of impressed you?
Yeah, Joe Smith. I mean, that was he flashed and flashed and flashed and flashed all day today. Whether it was in coverage, coming up and tackle somebody, the collision, even though he didn't make the, stop Corey. Corey Butler had a good day too. But even though he didn't, prevent the out route from happening, he was right there and collisioned it. So, I mean, I thought I was very pleased with him tonight.
What about the play of Christian Hunt?
Yeah, that was great. That last drive right there, that was a huge ball to Corey. Like I said, Corey was another guy who flashed tonight. He got completely somersaulted, hops right back up. Tough kid. Yeah, I mean, it was great play by him and great play by Corey at the end.
Who's been impressing so far in terms of this from the end of last season to now?
Yeah, I mean, our vets, they're having a good camp. As you could tell today, we held all of our vets out. Like I said, I feel like we know what we got in our vets. I feel like they had a really good day Thursday. They've had a really good spring ball so far. So today was all about the young guys, and we wanted to make it an emphasis on which young guys could we leave here and say, okay, this guy's somebody. And, there's 3 to 4 off the top of my head, 3 I just mentioned. I think when we go watch the tape, hopefully we find 2 to 3 more, and we leave, tonight with 6 or 7 guys that we can go into the next 2 weeks of spring ball with and say, hey, these guys can help us in year one, whether it's special teams or whether it's offense or defense depth.
And you said the other day the young guys.
We're doing something completely different this year. Defensively, we're shifting in and out of different fronts like we haven't. So, I mean, hearing teams, move, shift, all that stuff, and you're young, and you're hearing all that, that's not fun at all. So I think it's just a kind of a product of we're getting stuff repped on defense, and the movement is causing our offense to false start. The best part about that is these young guys are getting used to the hardest thing you can see, and that is a defense giving cadence and shifting. And they always say they're going to call it on the defense, but they never do. Right? It's always an emphasis in every year, real book. Disconcerting signals, we're going to call it on defense for sudden movements, and it's never called on the defense. So it's good for us to see really that hardest look all practice long. But so that was really all it was today, was when we were shifting and moving. So hopefully we can continue to build on that, and it's not going to get fixed just in spring ball, but hopefully by the middle of fall camp, through all their off-season stuff where they work out together without us, hopefully they can get used to, teams shifting and stemming and moving.
And then keeping the vets out to piggyback off what you were saying the other day too, how do you feel that these young guys, outside the penalties, they had communication, both sides of the defense, how they were communicating?
I thought it was good. I thought we functioned today. There wasn't many busts for a young guy scrimmage. It didn't look, other than the full starts, you guys were out here, I don't think it looked sloppy. It didn't look like, oh man, this doesn't look like football, this looks like rec ball. We went out there and played real football, ran real plays, and it looked like real ball. We just had, like I said, too many false starts, and obviously that's a challenge, 3 weeks into a new era, I would say, of kind of some of the stuff we're doing. Everybody's going to see what we do week 1 anyway, so who cares if I say it out loud.
It's kind of the focus of fine-tuning some of the finer details over these final 2 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, well, we want to figure out kind of going into these final 2 weeks which guys we need to get more reps with certain guys. So that was kind of the idea today is, one, we kind of know what we got with some of the vets, so let's really put an emphasis on those young guys to see which guys we need to put in which groups these next 2 weeks, so where we can coach them. We don't get to coach these guys really until, August. So we need to find these guys that we need to truly coach up that can make a difference next year, and we need to put them in situations these next 2 weeks where, they can learn and grow.
On the first day of spring, you said that the running back position was an open opportunity. Who's been impressing you most thus far this spring?
Tyson's had a great spring. Ralik's a guy who's shown up. He's a guy who's been dinged up a little bit last year, and I held him out, at the end of the last year phase. He was trying to get back. We were very precautious with his return just to be safe, to make sure, when he got back, he was fully healthy. So he's fully healthy now. He feels good. And I've been really pleased. He's been running between the tackles better than he ever did in his first year here in practice. So I've been very, very pleased with Raleek. And I know people always, they laugh and joke about Raleek. He's funny. He's got energy. He jumps in the videos. That kid loves ball. He absolutely loves ball. And that's what I love about him, is he brings that energy every day. But, man, he loves football. And between him and Sip and obviously you guys know Udo has had a good camp too, but those two guys that are returners I've been really pleased with.
I know it doesn't happen often, but how cool is it to have these kind of days where players can go out and support their community in the morning, the community can come here at night and support the players?
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, this is a public university. It's about the city. It's about getting people excited about ASU football, getting people to come to the games on Saturdays and enjoy it, right, and come out to the practices. And at the same token, our players loved. I asked them in the team meeting, did you guys like that? Do you want to do that again? Did that seem like a chore? They're like, no, we loved it. They're like, that was so much fun. They want to do that again. And I think that's, for them, it's one thing when you're going and high-fiving, a 45-year-old, right? Cool, I'm sorry to all the 45-year-olds, right? It's another thing when you're out there with kids that you one day remembered. Javen Robinson was telling one of our young guys, this is a day these kids will remember for the rest of their life. They're going to remember when, Xavier Alford, ran out with him, or when, Kyson ran out with him, with whoever was jogging next to him, right? When Javen was videoing him. They're going to remember those moments forever, and you never know if somebody chooses to come to Arizona State, chooses to go to college, just because of that one moment that they said, man, I've been a fan of this place since that kid ran out with me. My goal is to go to Arizona State, which is really now to go to college. And I think that's such a cool thing to be a part of, that our guys recognize the importance they have on the community.
Was it the entire team that was out there this morning?
Everybody. That was a leadership council, Pat Tillman leadership council decision. They wanted everybody to be there, so everybody got their jersey on and was out there together.
Coach, when you think about what Pat Tillman stands for, do you have any of those words for your own team as far as morality on and off the field?
Yeah, I just think for us, be a good person. That's one of our, rallying cries or rules here. Is we have 3 rules: be a good person, make good decisions, and have more fun working harder than anybody in the country. And I think for us, just be a good person, support people, enjoy the tough work. And I don't think anybody can really duplicate what he's done, or nobody could ever, become even a fraction of him. But I think for our guys just to run out of the tunnel every day, for our guys to hear Pat Tillman Leadership Council, it's going to continue his legacy forever.
Coach, you got a commitment from Dillingham on Thursday. Can you talk about the Texas to Tempe connection that you're continuing to build?
Yeah, I can't comment on player specific, but I do know this: playing in the Big 12, being in a region of Texas, Oklahoma, that region of the country, we definitely want to maximize that recruiting area because we play so many home games there. So it's definitely going to be an area that we continue to really lean into. And like I've said all along, I want players who want to be at ASU. I would love players from this state to want to be at ASU, but if players from other states want to be at ASU, I want players that want to be at ASU. That's it. I want players that love this place. I want players that appreciate this place, that appreciate the city they live in, appreciate what we just went through, appreciate the fact that the Diamondbacks had us throw out the first pitch and the Suns have players in the front row and that we're rushing the field. I want guys to truly appreciate that. And if that appreciation comes from Texas and California and Hawaii and Utah, then great. If it comes from our own state, then great. I think we'll get to that point where it does. But I think that Texas to Tempe movement is something that's critical for us to continue to build the program.
With these night practices, you mentioned wanting to see how guys respond to the lights and all that. Are there any guys that have shown you a special reaction to that as opposed to what you've seen in practice from them?
Like I said, Turbo has, Jaron, sorry. If you guys know his handles on social media, Turbo. But he definitely has. Roman's flashed a few times. Celesti's been flashing, in my mind, at defensive end a few times. Martell, the common sense ones that are going out there, like the Martells, the Rodney Bimmages of the world. Obviously, Montana Warren. I don't want to list that crew of guys. I think those guys have established themselves as guys we're going to count on. But I definitely think You know, Moss has definitely shown up a little bit, and then Corey Butler tonight.
Good.
Perfect.
Thanks,
Thank you.
guys.